Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the channel, The Witchy Goth here. Hope you're doing well. So I wanted to do another live video. I was going to record this, but I decided to go live for a number of reasons. But I had quite a lot of comments on my live feed last night. Now, I didn't get a chance to read them all, and I probably won't this evening either. I'm actually going to be reading from a script, so I will have a look at comments after I've done this. I'm also going to be reading an article that was in The Guardian today. And I want everybody to remember that I am speaking here as a resident and, a British citizen. And just to remind everybody out there that whatever happens in Europe with Russia and Ukraine will affect us here in the United Kingdom because we are part of NATO. Whatever happens in America affects us here in Europe. Not just because we're part of NATO, but because America is the largest, richest country in the world. So I want to read what I've written and discuss some of what was said on Friday in the Oval Office, some of what's been discussed over the weekend at the gathering here in London, and some of what's been discussed in the British Parliament this afternoon. Please excuse the way I am dressed. I went for a second run this afternoon, so I just wanted to do this quickly before I have my supper. And the title of my live video, Russia the Aggressor and Ukraine the Defender. We need to remember that Russia invaded Ukraine. They are the aggressor. They were in the wrong. Ukraine is defending its lands, and it seems to have been forgotten. Perhaps misled by falsehoods and words uttered by Donald Trump that Russia was, being invaded. We all saw 3 years ago who invaded whom, and it was clear that Russia invaded Ukraine. Trump called Zelensky a dictator, and that is far from the truth. The dictator is Putin. Putin's been in power in Russia for 25 years, and Ukraine holds regular elections. However, as the country is currently at war and under martial law, the Ukrainian constitution decrees that it does not hold elections. Britain didn't hold elections during World War II when Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister. Now, my American friends are divided. Some believe that Trump is right in aligning with Russia and aligning with Putin, while others see that Putin is indeed the dictator and that Trump admires Putin because of the iron fist he rules with over Russia. Now, why do I have such an interest in this? As I said at the beginning, whatever happens in Europe and whatever happens in America inevitably happens here in Britain. Everything affects us. So we see the false information that's out there once again, spread by Trump and the army of Russian bots, of which I am sure there were plenty commenting on my live feed last night. I've also been told off by a couple of people commenting on the live video that is left on my channel. So I thought I'd come on here and address some of those issues. But Keir Starmer today addressed Parliament, and he set out the goals of the Coalition of the Willing. Now, that was set up over the weekend with a meeting of leaders from around Europe, as well as from Canada, Justin Trudeau. This is in place to not only end the war in Ukraine, but ensuring that Putin does not just rearm and come back to carry on the invasion in a few years' time. And Trump rightly said that Europe needs to step up its forces and strength within NATO, and Europe is taking action, as is Britain. Now, there's a vast difference between the statesman-like deportment of Keir Starmer this weekend and the abominable bullying of Trump and Vance. Diplomacy is what's needed at a time like this. While Starmer was working over the weekend with various leaders from around Europe, Donald Trump was playing golf at Mar-a-Lago and JD Vance was playing hide and seek in Vermont, hiding from the protesters while he was skiing. So judge all you like that Zelensky is a warmonger. No, he isn't. He's trying to protect his country, the sovereignty of his country, from future invasion by Russia, just as any other world leader would. If Britain was invaded, we would fight against those invaders. If America was invaded, Americans would fight against those invaders. He is not a warmonger. He wants the almost 20,000 kidnapped children to be returned to Ukraine. They were kidnapped by Russia. 20,000 children. So who is the aggressor? Who is the warmonger? It's not Zelensky. Now, while these peace talks were ongoing last week, Putin's army continued raining down bombs and drones on Ukraine, and Russia has also imported 10,000 troops from North Korea, another dictatorship country. Meanwhile, China is watching from the sidelines as they are continuing to consider invading Taiwan. Trump accused Zelensky of possibly starting World War III, but the person who has possibly started World War III is the aggressor, the country that invaded Ukraine illegally, Vladimir Putin. Don't be fooled by the right-wing press, by the Russian bots and by the MAGA fans. The majority of America sees what is happening, and clearly Europe and Canada do too. The aggressor is Russia and the defender is Ukraine. So I'm going to read this article to you from the Guardian that I saw today, which talks about how White House officials tried to convince Zelensky to sign the agreement live on television in the Oval Office on Friday last week. And it shows how Zelensky was just standing up for his country. So this article, Trump officials fume at Zelensky for disregarding advice before meeting. Officials say minerals deal would serve as commitment to US security guarantee, and Ukraine leader shouldn't have pressed the issue. Why not? Give me one good reason why he shouldn't have pressed that issue. Remembering everything that I've just said about Russia being the aggressor and Russia coming back in a few years' time to re-invade Ukraine. Back in 2014, Russia annexed Crimea. There's nothing that's going to stop it from doing again, even if security deals are put in place. But there are other security deals that can be done. So inside the White House, inside the Trump White House, officials blamed the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for the meltdown in the Oval Office on Friday and expressed frustration that he pushed for security guarantees, even though the US had made clear they wanted to negotiate that later, according to people familiar with the matter. Well, if I was negotiating something and part of my negotiation was to do with needing security guarantees, I would want that at the top. That would be the first thing that I would want to discuss. Trump saw the minerals deal as the first phase of a broader economic partnership and told aides it showed the US was effectively making a commitment on security guarantees because the agreement deal would mean the US had a vested interest in Ukraine's economic prosperity. Well, of course it would, because Trump, as you know, thinks that he's a businessman, and it's all to do with money. The officials believed that had all been communicated to Ukraine, as was the advice that senators gave Zelensky on Friday morning to praise Trump and not litigate the issue of wanting stronger security guarantees to his face. Of course, Trump's a narcissist. Trump only wants to be praised. His whole aim with this, these are my beliefs. Number one, he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. Number two, he wants to be seen as the leader of the world. Indeed, last week he put out an AI image of him wearing a crown on the cover of Time magazine. Look at the AI footage that he created, the advertisement for having a holiday resort in Gaza and this gigantic golden statue of himself. That is narcissistic behavior, and that's what narcissists want. They want to be praised. They want to be agreed with. They want everybody to love them. To Trump's aide, Zelensky did not heed that advice when he expressed skepticism at J.D. Vance's view of making peace with Russia, and, in their view, lectured the US Vice President on the history of Russia's aggression towards Ukraine that started in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea, which I already mentioned. And Crimea was annexed to Russia. And it did appear in that meeting that J.D. Vance perhaps was not au fait with everything that Ukraine has experienced. Indeed, Zelensky asked him, have you been to Ukraine? And J.D. Vance said, well, I've seen videos. It's not really the same thing, is it? That set off a downward spiral in the Oval Office as Vance took issue with being questioned about his description of diplomacy and clapped back at Zelensky, I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country. Yes, Zelensky wants a peace deal. Yes, Ukraine wants to stop fighting. Yes, the whole world wants peace. But doesn't Zelensky have a right to have those agreements as well as Putin and Trump? Surely, as a leader of a country that is being invaded by an aggressor, he should be allowed to have a say in how that agreement looks. Vance cut into Zelensky with opprobrium, I love that word, that would have been objectively harsh for adversary, much less for a punitive ally. He appeared to interpret Zelensky's remarks to him as an insult to the US. No, they weren't. Zelensky was speaking his mind and asking J.D. Vance what authority he has to talk about what Ukraine wants when Zelensky is the president of Ukraine. On Thursday, when the prospect of completing the minerals deal was considered more of a probability, Trump had played down his comment calling Zelensky a dictator last week. And he did call Zelensky a dictator. It was in a note that he put out on Truth Social. And he responded to the journalist, did I say that? I can't believe I said that. Next question. Completely evading and not wanting to admit that he did that when the truth is out there for the world to see. The Emperor's New Clothes. Does anybody know that story? That brief moment of levity masked the reality that Trump had workshopped the dictator post on Truth Social with Vance before it was sent out last week, according to two people briefed on the matter. So Vance and Trump deliberately put that post out onto Truth Social. They had already started to seed the minds of Trump supporters, MAGA, and so on, that Ukraine is at fault, that Zelensky is a dictator when he's not. Vance had settled on the insult on the basis that Zelensky had suspended elections. The two people said, apparently ignoring the fact that Ukraine's constitution decrees that elections cannot be held during a period of martial law, like the one Zelensky has declared when Russia launched its full-scale invasion in 2022, and rightly so. If any country is being invaded, it is going to enforce a period of martial law to protect its citizens and to protect the country and to ensure that citizens aren't accidentally caught in the line of fire. While other US allies, such as the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the French President Emmanuel Macron, effusively praised Trump in the Oval Office this week, Zelensky took a different approach and perhaps unknowingly careened headfirst into Vance's personal skepticism of him. Trump's officials said privately on Saturday that Trump still wants to sign the minerals deal, but an immediate reset appeared unlikely, with Trump scheduled to attend a fundraising dinner for the MAGA Inc. Super Political Action Committee in Palm Beach and Zelensky's departure from the US for the UK. There had been one attempt by Ukraine to save the deal after the meeting that blew up when Zelensky's aide suggested that Trump meet with Zelensky one-on-one to calm tensions. But Trump officials declined the offer, according to two people familiar with the matter. Trump's view immediately after the meeting was that it was unproductive to engage in further talks because, to him, Zelensky was unwilling to sign a peace agreement with Russia. No, he's not unwilling. He wants a peace agreement that also considers his and his country's needs, not just what Trump and Putin want. Can you imagine, for example, here in the UK, having Trump and Putin decide what we want for our future? Or perhaps for America to have the UK and Russia decide what America is going to have for their future? In the end, Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, and the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, informed the members of the Ukrainian delegation who were waiting in the Roosevelt Room that they needed to leave. Minutes later, Zelensky stepped into the black SUV that drove off the White House grounds. Appearing on Fox News that evening, Zelensky referred to Ronald Reagan's dictum that peace is more than just an absence of war. Reagan was a Republican, and suggested that because Putin had broken dozens of ceasefire agreements already, more work was needed to reach a just and lasting peace. Trump appeared unimpressed when he boarded Marine One en route to Palm Beach, telling reporters that Zelensky needed to say publicly that he wanted to make peace and stop saying negative things about Putin. He has said he wants peace. And Putin is the aggressor. And Ukraine is the defender, as I said at the beginning, as was the title of this video. The truth needs to be put out there that Donald Trump has full command of the US government and the backing of immensely powerful tech bros, Elon Musk, and of course the Russian oligarchs. Both Trump and others around him have threatened retribution against the media. In fact, in that meeting at the Oval Office on Friday, Reuters and I think it's AP, Associated Press, were not allowed in that meeting room. And it was Brian Glenn who asked Zelensky why he wasn't wearing a suit. I remember when I used to sing in a band, being interviewed and asked what I was wearing because I was the woman in the band. It was exactly the same. It was a derogatory comment, and it was meant to pick apart and make fault, and find fault with what Zelensky was wearing. But as I've said before, Winston Churchill did not wear a suit during World War II. His cabinet includes people who have questioned established science, including the reality of the climate emergency. So it is very important that these facts are checked and that people are aware of what is going on, the truths and the mistruths that are out there. I'm just bringing up the video that I've got going on at the moment so I can have a look, bear with me a second, at some of the comments, because I know that there's going to be quite a lot of comments. Thank you to my new subscribers if you're watching, and if you would like to subscribe to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please like the video or dislike the video, it's up to you. Bear with me a second, I'm trying to find this. It is not showing up. I also just want to remind everybody that I am not monetized on this channel. I do not earn any money on here and would love to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can start being monetized. And because I really need a proper camera, because I'm using my mobile phone at the moment, and I need a microphone because I've lost the doohickey thing for my microphone that I normally use. So I don't know where it is. I've looked all over, I can't find it. Just bear with me, I'm still trying to find this thing. Bear with me. And then I can have a look at some of the comments. And you can hear me in tandem because I have not turned down the volume on my laptop. So let's have a look at what people are saying, if it will open for me. Bear with me. It wants me to join the conversation for me to have a look. Great. Thank you to my new subscribers. Mwah. I'm just trying to get onto these comments. I don't know how I do that. Let me just see if this will work. No. No. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. For some reason, it's not letting me look at the comments. Ah, there we go. There we go. I see them. They have now appeared. Fabulous. Right, I'm going to have a look here. I'm starting at the bottom because that's what I can see the most. Hi, Rob. Hi, Rob. Love your stream. Can shout out my new ice cream van. Yeah, hi, new ice cream van. The guy on the live, which is a girl, is in England. Yes, I am. I'm in the UK. There's some people who shouldn't do politics. You're taking a break until I go back to before. I will be doing before videos, Lizzie. I am just doing this at the moment. So you can obviously step on when you need to and step off when you need to. I completely get it. Regs Zeus says, hey Goss, do you live in a multicultural neighborhood? At the moment, no, not really, but I did live in South Africa for 24 years of my life in Johannesburg. So yes, I have a very multicultural background. Um, imagine trusting mainstream media in 2025. Caravaggio, what would you recommend that I watch? Because I don't just trust mainstream media. I do actually watch a number of channels that are on YouTube, including Midas Touch, including Luke Beasley, including A Different Bias, including Politics Social, including Tennessee Brando, including Brian Taylor Cohen, including so many other political channels, both British and American, and some from other areas of the world as well. We need a real movement and a new leader. George, are you talking about a new leader in America? I did see that there were some protests in America over the weekend, but they're not big enough. I agree, they're not big enough. And you guys there have to get out there and protest. When Zelensky landed in the UK on Friday, he actually there were people on the streets applauding him and shouting for him, welcoming him here. And that was purely, there was no advertisement about it. It just happened spontaneously. The protests were shown live. They were all over. There was some in California. There was some in Washington. Apparently 50 states had protests, but they were very, very small. There's tons of protests every day. Guys, put those protests on YouTube. Put those protests on TikTok. Put them on Facebook. Put them on, if you're still on Twitter, put them on Twitter. But make sure other people are, seeing those. Look at these working man's hands. You think? Not really. No one is doing anything about Trump. As we said, George, there are protests going on. One must change with the times or get left behind. Most definitely, I agree with that. We do have to change with the times. That's why we have to accept minority groups, such as the trans minorities, the disabled, gay, the entire LGBTQIA group of society. All cultures, all religions, all beliefs need to be included. And we do need to get with the times. And that includes looking for peace in a world that wants to create war. Reagan is rolling in his grave, Adam says. Okay. I'm reading some of these comments here. Some I'm not going to say out loud. Real golf mommy. Okay. I don't know if you're calling me a mommy, but if I'm a mummy of goths, I don't know. Rags Use, yes, I do remember you. He does want a ceasefire, Gigi, he does. But unfortunately, while these peace talks have been going on, Russia was still bombing. So, there's one way of ending this war very, very quickly. That Russia stops fighting and leaves Ukraine. End of war. Can I shout out your friend Jack Mehoff? He's very ill. Blessings to him, Vincent. I hope that he heals soon. Am I in college? I look 22. Thank you so much. I will take that. I'm actually studying through university at the moment, but I'm a bit older than 22. Zelensky doesn't want a ceasefire. He wants to keep buying Bentleys and going shopping in Paris. Okay, Gigi, do you have proof of that? When did I smile last? That is such a misogynistic thing to say, telling a woman that she needs to smile. I was smiling when I was out running earlier today. And if anybody's interested, I will be putting a link into the comments once I've closed down this. I am running for, where is my paper now? For World Wildlife Fund this month, for the month of March. I've got to run 100 kilometers throughout the month. I've run 11, 12 kilometers as of today because I went for another quick kilometer run earlier after I'd finished my studying. This guy is so small-minded, he doesn't see the bigger picture. Well, this guy is a girl, and I do see the bigger picture. I see the bigger picture being that if Russia is allowed to continue invading into Ukraine, that will spill out into the rest of Europe. I live in Britain. I'm part of Europe. That will affect me. Europe is our biggest trading partner. A lot of our goods come from Europe, our food and so on. So it does affect me and the people in this country. Maybe I'm, what? AI for the liberal side. With our economic support and handouts, Ukraine would now be Russia. Be informed by the US being there, that automatically will stop the aggression. The American troops are on the ground there. But the UK have said we are going to put boots on the ground and planes in the sky. So that is going to happen. It was a big wake up to the UK, Trump saying that, you know, Europe needs to be more in control of its and keep up its troops within Europe. And that is right. And it's something that Europe got wrong by over-reliance on America. However, I do want to remind you guys that during the Afghanistan war, during the Iraq war, that Britain and other European troops did actually fight with America. So it is, you know, a fact that we need to increase our responses to these horrible things, because they're just going to keep happening as long as people like Putin are in power. I'm just going to read some more comments here. Let's come back down to the bottom again. No, sweetheart. Dhruv Singh? No, sorry. Thank you for asking, but no. What do you think about the US invading Mexico and making it into a state? Well, I think that's ridiculous. I think Mexico would like to still be a country. I'm still calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of Mexico. You know, these sort of things need to be talked about and negotiated. Trump also wants to invade Canada and you know, absorb Canada into America. Canada don't want that. And don't forget that Canada's head of state is actually King Charles III. Is Russia just bad because Russia's bad because Putin is the dictator. He has been in power there for 25 years. There have not been elections in Russia for 25 years. Putin's rich. Exactly, Adam. It's the Gulf of Mexico. Completely agree with you. What do I think about Denmark buying California? Well, I want to remind you that Denmark are the sort of, they own and look after Greenland, which is another country that Trump wanted to take over. Why does he want to take over these countries? Money. It's all about money. Don't forget that Donald Trump is actually a real estate agent. That's what he is. And that's what real estate agents do. Yes, oil reserves, definitely. Oil reserves, minerals. There are so many reasons why Trump wants those countries. My belief, and he is a narcissist, he is without doubt a grandiose narcissist. Within psychology, we look at the dark triad, that being narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Now, those three are not actually mental health issues. They are diagnoses. But those three are all connected. And I'm not a boomer, I'm a Gen Xer. So he wants to be the king of the world. That's it. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize because Obama won it, so he wants it. He wants to be better than Obama. Anyway, I'm going to head off in a few minutes. What is the JG says, what is the channel about? This channel is about whatever I decide it to be about. I call myself the Witchy Goth because I'm a goth and I'm a witch. I do discuss my beliefs, which is witchcraft. I'm a pagan. I also discuss, I started discussing politics recently. It is a big interest of mine, and especially with what's happening at the moment in the world. I'm just laughing at that comment that I'm a spiritual boomer. Sweetheart, I am a Gen Xer, born in the best year, 1969, the year of Woodstock. And no, I'm not a lesbian. Strangely, I've not been called trans yet, because that's something that I often get called. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to. You've got nothing better to do but harass a British woman spitting facts. Yeah, spitting facts. How do you approach your crush? Well, if you think talking about me, I'm married to my cats. Yes, I am a crazy cat lady and very happy about it. Constant Sorrow wants Mexico. Hey, maybe you should go live in Mexico. Hi, Alex. Caravaggio. No, you don't understand. The word boomer is now an insult for out-of-date delusional thinking. No, boomer is the era of the baby boomers that were born after the war. And that baby boomer generation ended in 1963, I think, or 62. And then Gen X, and then millennials. Okay, so no. You don't understand the word boomer and its meaning. You knew I was a far left feminist cat lady by my hair and glasses. Yes, the glasses give it away. I would normally be wearing black, but I've been running. This is part of my running gear, so I'm prehistoric. Okay. Gigi, you do know that one day you may get to this age. That's if World War III doesn't break out. Caravaggio, it's like if I called you a hippie for not washing. Do you understand? That's your take on hippie. To me, a hippie is somebody who loves hippie music and the culture. What kind of books do I like to read? Can I recommend you some? At the moment, I'm reading all about psychology for my degree, towards my doctorate. But if you have a look behind me, there are books on witchcraft. There are books on all sorts of things behind me. So I read loads and loads and loads. I've got about 3 or 4 books on the go at the moment. That's fine, just pointing it out. Yeah, I know, but it's like a lot of Americanese, bro, you know, I'm not a bro, I'm a gal, I'm a chick. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. When will I make a new dictionary so all the definitions are clear? You know what? That's a really good idea. I could probably make a bit of money out of that. You might call someone a Nazi, not referring to a mid-century German. Do you get it yet? Sweetheart Caravaggio. Yes. Yes. But I am not a boomer. Are you Gen Z? I bet you class yourself as an alpha as well. Okay, there's some conversation going on between you guys here. Why are women always defensive and secretive when it comes to age? Is it that much of a taboo subject? That's very interesting. Perhaps it is. How do I remember important content of my studying? I have a big brain. The grey matter and the white matter works really well. I study hard. I get distinctions. No, they just hate that they get old. No, I don't hate that I get old. I honestly thought that I was going to like be in the 27 club. I really didn't think I would make it to 25 initially. And it is, age is relevant. And the more age you have, the more knowledge you have. And no, I'm not 70 or 74. Didn't know the crypt keeper had a mother. Oh, thanks, Jack. Such a beautiful comment. What do I think about the UK school education system? Well, I only attended school here until I was 12, because that was in 1982. So you can work out my age now. And we emigrated to South Africa. But I do think the education system here in the UK at the moment is lacking quite a lot. I do think, though, the university I'm with is absolutely brilliant. I've never learned so much in such a short space of time. It's really, you know, intense and just giving me a lot of fulfillment to study. You'll need therapy. Who, me or them? I do have a therapist because I'm studying to be a psychologist. Well, actually, I want my PhD in psychology because I want to go into full-time research. But oh yeah, of course I dye my hair. Who doesn't dye their hair? At least I don't wear a wig. This is real. It's real. It's attached. Narinda Moody. I actually don't know that much about that subject, so it's something that I would have to get back to you about. At least I have a sense of humor. Maybe, sometimes, perhaps. Okay, you're asking me about the PM of India. I don't really know that much about Modi. Moody, I'm not sure of the pronunciation. You look like the nuns that taught me as a kid. I'm not a nun, I'm pagan. I have a pentagram tattooed on my chest. Definitely not Catholic. Have amazing hair for whatever age I am. Thank you. I'll tell my hairdresser. She loves messing with my hair. In the USA, too, lots of dumb people here, 75%. I think that a lot of people around the world, and that's not just here in the UK or in the West, but around the world, have been stopped from studying. Women weren't allowed to go to university until last century. So it's slowly changing. But again, unfortunately, the one thing that we have in this world that we need to overcome is white patriarchy, male patriarchy. White men rule the world. And I don't agree with that. I really don't. Things are changing, but I do think that it's taking too long and we need more protests. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go because I've been on here for a long time now and I want my dinner. Have I seen Stargate? Yes, I have. What do I think about Alien and the world beyond? Okay, that's interesting. I do believe in aliens. I do believe that there are other worlds besides this one. There has to be. There has to be somewhere out there, the millions of stars and planets that are out there. It's not reasonable to ask people to care or pay attention to what isn't a part of their lives on a daily basis. That's true. And I'm not asking you to be a part of this unless you want to be. There's nobody standing over you saying you will subscribe to my channel. But if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd really love that. Also, if you're enjoying the chat we're having, please give me a thumbs up. Yes, I believe in ghosts because I see them. I have a ghost in this house. This house is an old mining house. It was the mine boss's or the pit boss's house. The mine head is over the road. It's no longer there. But there's a mine shaft in my back garden. And there's a man who comes in here every day with his dog at 12 o'clock. So yes, I do believe in ghosts. And so, yes, I have seen them. I have seen them. I don't know if you watch Twin Paranormal. It's a great channel that I watch. On a Sunday night, they put a live up every Sunday. They are ghost hunters. Sorry, my back's really, really tight from running earlier. So I have a strong belief in Hindu, which has not or got a holistic view on life and beyond, because it does. I studied yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. So part of what I had to study was the Hindu and Sanskrit belief system. Also, I'm a Reiki master. So I've also read the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying and various other books written by various monks. I'll go scary. I don't know. I wasn't scared. I just say hello. That's it. I just say hello. I think it depends. I want to see an educated person like you in stream. Educated? Thank you. There are many, many channels that I watch with truly educated people. There is a channel called Politics Social. They're doing a live shortly. I'm not sure what time it will be on. But they are doing stateside tonight, so they'll be discussing everything that's going off with Trump and Vance and etc. Then also there's a channel I watch called A Different Bias with a gentleman called Phil Morehouse who talks about politics. He's absolutely brilliant. Twin Paranormal channel that I watch for fun, but I enjoy that. It's, you know, horror movies and ghost films and that are my genre. I listen to goth heavy metal, but I also listen to classical music and I play guitar. I also used to sing in a band. The Ghost Hunters thing is Twin Paranormal. If you have a look, just type in Twin Paranormal. Their logo is white with a green and black little figure in it. Thank you, Freedy. Education doesn't mean, I think you mean anything if you aren't effective or practical, unfortunately. I don't know, because sometimes it's just nice to have that knowledge. Sometimes it's just nice to have those thoughts about things and those beliefs in things. What do I think about the afterlife? That is really interesting because I'm sort of in two minds here. Okay, when I look at faith and I look at religion as a whole, pretty much most religions worship the same being. It's a being that is omnipotent, and pretty much people worship that being, or a higher being, a higher something, whatever it is that we worship. I believe that there are many different theories out there that we can reincarnate. Christianity believes that we go to heaven or hell. I personally don't believe in hell because I don't believe in Satan. And because I don't believe in Christianity, I do believe that Christ existed. Whether or not he was the Savior or the Son of God, you know, there's so much information out there. Kitty Doom, I love that name, Kitty. You're Donald Trump. Buzzard 8281, British people really are knowledgeable. And not all of, you know, there are, you know, it's Ramadan. Of course it is. I completely forgot. I did see that this morning. Ramadan blessings to you. You see, I don't mind that I have Christians watching, or I have Muslims watching, or I have Hindus watching, because to me, we are all going to go to the same place. I call it Summerland. To me, it's a place where I can go and be with my family and my friends. And if I choose to reincarnate onto this planet, then I choose that. There's a great book by Dr. Michael Newton, a couple of books actually, Journey of the Souls. Absolutely brilliant if you want to find out a bit more about the afterlife. Right. I am going to go and get my tea. So you were Abraham Lincoln in your past life. Oh, bless you. So somebody shot you. Okay. Right. I am going to go. I'm going to say thank you to everybody for watching. Blessings to you all. Have a wonderful evening. I don't know when I'm going to come back and do another live stream. I've got a massively busy week this week. And yeah, GED is pretty much useless. I matriculated, so I have my A levels. Yeah, and I've gone on and done further study. So I think I don't know about the school curriculum now because I obviously haven't been at school for a very long time, but Kitta Doom, okay, whatever you want in your bank, you can have in your bank. Right, do I have a job? I have many jobs, many jobs. I am going to go. I have to get up now because my phone's over there and I'm over here and I don't have one of those remote buttoning things. So blessings to all of you. Have a wonderful evening. Let's just hope that we get peace. That's all we want, isn't it? We all want peace so we can all live our lives the way we want to live our lives and not be told how to live our lives by somebody else. So like I said before, if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs so that I can start monetizing the channel. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like or a dislike. It's completely up to you. I don't mind. It all serves the algorithm. So blessed be. Mwah.